one sounds like, maybe the other one was getting a little too verbose. I was bloviating about whatever. I was down one of my ADHD trails. Hello, everyone. I want to make a quick video on anxious thoughts, negative thoughts, and the like. And as humans, we all do it first and foremost. This seems like it's obvious, but I found that obvious things people like to hear be said. Everybody's got those anxious, nervous thoughts. Don't feel bad. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you broken. It makes you human. Okay? Now, having said that, the Lord says He did not give us the spirit of fear. And one of the most prolific things that is said in the Bible is don't fear. It's said over 100 times, maybe way more than that. I don't remember exactly. So if the Lord didn't give it to us and He says not to do it, where did those thoughts, remember these thoughts that you hear in your head, I think most people have an inner monologue. Some don't, apparently, but most do. So then where do these thoughts that, science still hasn't figured out where our thoughts originate from, and of course they, how. My personal opinion is those thoughts might not necessarily be yours. Don't kid yourself. I believe that the Lord is in us and the devil, and that's where free will comes in because it's almost like the funny that an angel on one side and the devil on the other, and you're like, well, I can go rob that bank today, or I can go be a productive member of society, and you have the free will to choose. I can, tell that person off for what I really think of them, or I can just let it go and move on. But those negative thoughts, those anxious thoughts, obviously aren't supposed to be there. Those are simply spyware and malware installed by the devil. So your job is to uninstall them, clean your operating system, and move on. And you do that by practice. Remember, there's the traumatic event, and you replay it in your head, which you're not kind of supposed to. And if you don't work it out and get over it, it can turn into a psychological logjam, which will lead you to have the anxious thoughts and the negative thoughts, and they will turn into a habit. So the foundation of your thought process can be, fear-based or negativity, blah, 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 based in a negative outlook. How about that? And you can kind of tell if when you're going through your day and your response to just certain things that come up has a more negative tone, even if you don't think it does. And the way you can find out is ask someone you trust and tell them you want to know the truth. I know I'm getting a little off into the weeds, but I wanted to make this really simple. There's no rule that says you have to entertain those negative thoughts. It's certainly okay to flush them. You don't deal with them. It's really as easy as that. It's not easy, but the concept is easy. So the quick rule is, if you have a thought and it's not helpful or it's not positive, then get rid of it. Don't get me wrong. You can review a negative event or a traumatic event to make sure you learn the lesson so you don't do it again, if indeed it was your fault or whatever. But past that, you need to reconcile the event, clear the trauma up, accept the reality of the situation, and don't. And that occurs too for forward thought. Like if you have an upcoming event or an upcoming meeting and you're really counting on someone to give you or say something that you need, but you're not sure if they will, and you keep going, oh, what am I going to say? That is a waste of time. That's giving you anxiety. You can't possibly know what they're going to say until you have that meeting. So don't think about it. Well, that's impossible. But yes, I know, but that's the habit right there. You've got to break the habit of chewing on whatever it is you're anxious about. And it is extremely hard to do. But like any other habit, it can be broken, and then you install a new habit, which is one of positivity. You can say, well, whatever happens with the meeting that I'm anxiously waiting for, I will adapt to whatever I need to. So if you get what you want, yay, all good. If you don't get what you want, You just adapt and move on. Does that sound?
Yeah.
Was I too far off? Was my ADHD?
It's not too bad.
No. Okay.
No, I don't think it was too bad at all.
So to sum up,
And I'm actually going through that right now because I have to wait to get these
yeah, that's my prompt to that.
results,
My
you
wife
know,
is. We're in the hospital again. Wife
kind of
is.
anxious about it and
Yeah.
wanting to know, but they don't know yet. Well, they know some, but not enough to tell me.
And it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not tough. I'm not trying to make it like it's easy. Just change it. It's going to be one of the most difficult things you'll ever do in your life. But I promise you the payoff is worth it. When you can train yourself to get out of the old habit of worrying about things that haven't happened yet or ruminating over the past and being anxious or fearful. Again, no rule that you have to entertain those thoughts. You don't have to engage with them, ignore them, and then eventually get in the habit of not thinking like that. And those thoughts will become less frequent and then not really pop up at all, save for once in a while. Remember, the Lord didn't give us a spirit of fear. That is spyware and malware installed by the devil. So uninstall that shit, yo. Peace out.